Okay. Here we go. We'll start recording. Let's hold them by turn involve 62. But nevertheless, I'd just want to read a letter from the Nosen Alim Latrufa. And he says, this is really the end of Chaim v'bracha v'shalom v'sasim v'simcha yasigu k'vod ahuvi yedidi chavivi k'nafshi v'levavi הרבני הגביר המפורסם ראינו הרב אייזק Yair, and Zugoso, his wife Bas Melech Pnima Tzadekis Akom As Odl. He's talking about the husband of Sabina's daughter. Yichim Kol Tzechalatzei Ma'ikorim.
Who's he?
That's her husband. He's writing to her husband. Ibnosen.
Amnon?
All the truth that Ibnosen is writing. What I'm writing now. This is sort of like dropping. Get it right. Okay. It says, I'm not going to read the whole letter. It says, I'm wondering greatly that I didn't have any regards from my friend Rabbi Ephraim, even though he did something improperly, I will reply properly. And I'm bidding his welfare in a lot of love. B'shalom, also the B'shalom of Chosni Yedidi Araboni Merab Shmuel with all the children. Ahuvi Rabbi Ephraim, my beloved Rabbi Ephraim. Remember your Creator also while you're working in your store. Even B'Surcha Levaki B'Shon Russo. So I don't know what's Russian Levaki means. Value Benecha Keishanim, and shouldn't be, don't take for granted what Adonenu Morenu Rabbeinu Zal that says in Likutey Moharan that all the languages of the Goyim, there's the letters of the Torah. There's Tati Katfit is two, and so forth and so on. And from there you can be medabek yourself in Shem Yisborach. Bevada, you didn't come to this particular, this situation that you will sit in the store all day long, except that you should remember this every single day, because even a person that doesn't know anything from this, but that is not thinking of it, and those people are sitting in the oil of Beis HaMedrash all day, don't need it so much. Being that you are Baruch Hashem from the sitting of the Beis HaMedrash of the Rebbe, you have to go outside and deal with business. Nevertheless, you should be Mekayim, Smach Zlum, Tzeisecho, and dance every single day, Machshava, or the Maisa. You should remember these things, and so forth and so on. Then it will be good for you forever and ever. Basically, he's saying why this is. Yeah. People are going to be watching this video on nuts. Okay. So Ross is basically saying some people, Hashem to sit in the Medrash and learn all day. other people have to go out to work. He says the main thing is just remember that. Remember everything that you heard from Rabbeinu. You should know that there's a place everywhere. There's godliness everywhere you find it. There's no place that has no godliness in it. So if you find yourself that you have to work or whatever it is to go, that you find yourself in, you have to remember Kadosh Baruch Hu put you there, and you need to pay attention to it. And if you do that, he says you'll be happy literally forever. It's a very common thing that people think, okay, today is not a day, it's not an auspicious day, to serve it as well. Or you're going to daven, okay, and suddenly you see, most of the tefillah already passed without paying attention. So, okay, forget about this one. We'll start the next one. It's like I'll start my diet tomorrow kind of thing. Says, no, don't do that. Today is a day. This moment is also a moment. In fact, this moment right now is the only moment you have. Everything that you ever had is no longer, and everything you will have is not yet. Bible says the only time is where you are. So okay, this is not a time. This is not a. I remember the Blazer Shlomo Shik, the used to say, he says, if you remember that the day that you are today, Kadosh Baruch Hu made this day. So already you can be happy. This day is not stam. This day is not, superfluous, between yesterday and tomorrow. Today this is it. This is where it counts. This is it. Yom Kippur, everybody knows Yom Kippur. But today is also a day. Yom Kippur is a day. Actually, Yom Kippur is above the days, but nevertheless, Rosh Hashanah, the past Purim, we're getting into Pesach. Pesach, the Seder, the Gewalt, and everything. Today is just as much a day as Pesach is. You got to use today for what it is you use today for. Having the best you can, to learn the best you can. And the main thing, if you can't do anything, and nothing really wakes you up, so nothing really, gets your juices flowing. So dance, be b'simcha b'ol Hashem, y'makarv t'sach. Okay. So we said, yeah.
Isn't that on Shabbat?
No, we're saying on Rosh Chodesh.
That's for Rosh Chodesh.
Yeah, that's what we're saying on Hava. So he says the fact is, if you remember Zayom, this today, Hashem made it, which means it's not stam. It's a day to use. You're already
It's not just Rosh Chodesh, every day.
Yeah. It's. I know that I'm basically saying like, do as I say, don't do as I do, but that's the truth. So we said that a person needs to admonish the people who are under his malchus, and being that this is a very dangerous situation because it's a precarious position. All those who are under you, you're responsible to let them know which way they're supposed to go, and this is Rabbanus Makaberes Be'alai, shortens a person's life. So first of all, that means that you need to work at it and do the best you can. in order to to admonish the people who are under your malchus. We said that malchus is both overt and covert. And the Rebbeinu says, okay, but even the people who are around you, we don't always know what to tell them. How much more so the people that you don't even know who they are? People that are under you covertly, the neshamas, you don't even know. Maybe they're in Montevideo, I don't know, in Melbourne, Thailand. Who knows? It's like you don't know where they are. So how can you guide them the proper way? The Rebbeinu said, this is the way to do it is you're doing from the das. What you need to do is you need to inject longevity into your own life. This is, by doing what you need to do, you have to neutralize that potential, that attribute of being in a command position that shortens a person's life. You need to sweeten it. You need to ameliorate it by, guiding the people. And how do you do it? How do you actually guide them? But being said this, you get from the das, and that particular das, how to do it, comes from life itself. Life itself means a Kodesh Baruch Hu. You have to build your das, not only that you should know Torah, not only that you should be able to know what to do for yourself and the people but by learning Torah, what you're doing is you are calling life itself. You're drawing life itself from the Kodesh Baruch Hu into you. Being that the life, the life force, the way it is by Kodesh Baruch Hu is infinite, and it's not possible to receive something that has no constrictions. It's like a tsunami, you drown. So that's what the Torah takes care of. You can only receive vitality and life from Kodesh Baruch Hu in kalim, in measurements, in measured. So that's why the Torah, which is the tool for that, is made out of letters, words, and parshias, and Chumoshe. Each one is a keli, is a vessel. Like you have a little spoon that's for when you have a pot, then you have a bucket, then you have a truck. And so each one is a measurement, it's a vessel to be able to transport whatever it is that you need transport. Here, we're talking about transporting things that are spiritual. The Rebbeinu says that the name of anything is the vessel that contains that particular reality. We spoke about it a little bit at length, but like when you say the name of a person, the person is asleep, trying to wake him up, he doesn't want to wake up, or he doesn't wake up, whatever. You call him by his name, yeah, because the name calls him, because the name is the keli of that particular person. And the Rebbeinu says the very same way that, as it were, that you call a person, you have to call him by his name. The same way you need to call Chai Chaim, when you want to call a Kodesh Baruch Hu, you want to get life from him, you have to call him by his name. The names of Kodesh Baruch Hu is every single letter, every single word, every single pasuk, every single parsha in Torah is the name of Kodesh Baruch Hu. The entire Torah are the names of Kodesh Baruch Hu. So by learning Torah, you are basically you're calling Kodesh Baruch Hu, but you're calling him in measures. You're calling him in measures, words and psukim, and so on and so on. And this is how you basically draw to yourself life from Chai Chaim, Kodesh Baruch Hu, the source of all life. Rebbeinu brought a mashal. As a mashal, he says a proof to what he's saying. The Torah says about the Melech Israel, has to write himself as a mitzvah to write himself a separate Sefer Torah. He has to have two Sefer Torahs. One of them, is there, and one of them goes with him all the time. It says that Sefer Torah will be with the Melech. And he will read in it all the days of his life. So that he will live long on his kingdom, on his malchus. So in this pasuk already, everything that Rabbeinu talks about is embedded. You should be with him. The Koraboy, you can understand in two ways. One way, you understand that the Koraboy, you read it, you learn it. The Melech has to learn it in order to put longevity into his malchus. Melech is the Melech. He has to be Melech on everybody, which means he's responsible for everybody. He is in the greatest danger of shortening his life if he doesn't do it properly. So you have to learn Torah all the time. He says, Karaboy, first of all, you read it. He says also the Melech is calling the Chaya Chaim, the life from Kodesh Baruch Hu, the Karaboy. He uses, that's the tool with which he calls the life into him. And this is what Rabbeinu says. That's why you have to learn out loud. You have to learn, enunciate the words of the Torah. When you have to call somebody by his name, you have to call him with your mouth. You can't just call him with your thought. Can you call a Kodesh Baruch Hu, as it were, in his name, except through the mouth? Not just by thought alone. This is what Chazal said, that it is life to those who find it. So Chazal Darshan, don't say Motzeim, those who find it, but Motzi'ehem, those who actually, utter out, out the words of the Torah. Those who actually utter the words of the Torah in his mouth. They enunciate it, they say it out loud. Those who actually, let the words be heard with their mouth. This is how he's Zoichet Chaim. Anybody who's Zoichet the Torah, in his mouth, and he's calling the Chaya Chaim, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and this is how he is drawing life from Kodesh Baruch Hu into his own malchus, and he also gets the das, and this das is influence that we're going to learn. His influencing is actually guiding the people that are from the shores what they need to do, and also is actually okay. So by being osik in Torah, you are drawing longevity. Then you're zoichet to das. When it says kacha, the das and the seichel, that's already is the life force. The chokhmah, gives life. It rejuvenates, gives life to the one who owns it. The fact that the person is Zoichet Chaim, real living not just this world, but also in the next world, this is the Pchinas Das. So Das, and when you acquire this particular Das, you get life. You made your own life longer. You remove the risk of premature end of life. Because you have a malchus and you're not using properly. You also, through this das, it is through this das you are able to be mekarev and to admonish those that you have to admonish. And now all this sounds, okay. I still don't understand what he's talking about. You have a das. You said, I don't know what, I learn Torah, I know what to tell them. Okay, yeah, basically. You don't let tell you, obviously don't know what to tell people. To you. Kids do whatever you want, but they're not, you don't learn Torah. But specifically, Rabbi also asked the question, he says,
kids do whatever they want.
No, he says, a person has no das, doesn't learn Torah, doesn't know of Yiddishkeit, what can he tell his kids to do? He can't tell his kids what they do, doesn't know what they have to do. I think it's a life in this. Even when you know.
The kids don't listen, even though it's.
Okay, so is it. This is a sikha that is worth having, because one of the things that Myrov told me many years ago, I had small kids years ago, and he said, even when your kids grow up, he said, and they don't turn out the way you want them to turn out, he said, it's okay. It's okay.
What?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. You need to do what you need to do. Things happen, they turn out like this, they turn like that, whatever it is. There are plenty of stories. We all know it. We all went through it. The point is, you need to do what you need to do. Even if it comes out, you turn out to, it's a simon that whatever, it didn't work out, and it doesn't work, don't worry, it always works out. Nosson told Rabbeinu, I believe Kadosh Baruch Hu will finish everything that he does. And that was it. He will succeed with everything that he does. So Rabbeinu was astounded. He says, Nosson, what are you talking about? Kadosh Baruch Hu is matzliach all the time. It's not that he will be matzliach. Kadosh Baruch Hu is matzliach all the time, every single second, there's no such thing as Kadosh Baruch Hu, oops, it didn't work out. No such thing by Kadosh Baruch Hu. I see, that's not the way to do it, that's not the way it's supposed to behave, that's not the way, I didn't want my kids to turn out this way, or this way, or whatever it is, that's not your business. It used to be, I see the Breslov in Russia, Soviet Union, there was a period that every kid, all the children, bar none, practically all the children went off the derech.
The family?
All the children.
Which family was it?
All the Breslov children, everybody that was there. Everybody lived, the Bolsheviks and whatever it is, in those times. Practically everybody, all the children. I mean, a person had a child, 99% that this child will never be from. Maybe you'll marry Meir Goita. So I remember which Golden, they asked, maybe it's better not to have children. And when you have children, we're saying every morning, and right, the Balatzion, in a sense. So, we shouldn't work for nothing and give birth, to behalo, to confusion, to scare. What's the deal with it? It says, this is not your business. This is not my business. I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. I remember I was in the hospital like a few years ago, was it 2-3 years ago? I remember what it was. And when I was there was a woman that is a fry woman. She's a journalist.
She's a journalist.
Journalist.
Yeah.
I have not met a person who's more rude than this particular woman. I mean, it's like full of anger, full with but to the point that, she was. I remember that night when she was in the ward at night, the middle of the night. she's screaming for the nurse. Achot!
Yeah.
You nuts, you're waking everybody up. Achot! No shame. So whatever it is, so she came in, and my son helped her, anyhow, so she came and she met me, and she looks at me, started asking me questions. Because my son told her, I'm about tshuva, started asking me questions. First thing she told me, she's reformed.
Yeah.
You're reformed? In Israel? What does it mean? In America, I can here. You fry. What do you mean reform? What is it? What is it? Is a derech navilis Hashem reform? What are you talking about? Never. Forget about that. So they asked me all these questions and this and that and what happened. I says, where I says, I'm in Breslin. He said, I'm angry, Rabbi Nachman.
What did you do?
I just looked at her and she understood. Just by looking at it like that. Next thing you tell me that you're angry with gravity. And it's like, why did you fall? It's like, it's not angry or enough with that you. Anyhow. So then she said, I must have told this story many times. I did tell the story. So she says to me, you can see this commiserating look in her eyes, like she feels sorry for me, but you can see the glee, behind it. She says, the problem of Baalei Teshuva are the children, isn't it? Isn't that the Baalei Teshuva's biggest problem? The children, right? Look, I said, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I said, am I better than my forefathers? Avram Avinu had the smallest count, 4 children. He had Yishmael, he had Yitzchak, he had Yishmael, and Bnei Apilokshim. Bnei Apilokshim is 2 more. Bnei Apilokshim means at least 2. The Semitic says there were 200, but nevertheless, let's say there were 2, okay? The smallest number, because Bnei means 2. Pilokshim also means 2. So that means a minimum, you can say, is 1 for this one, 1 for that one. Fine. So, and by this most minimal count, it means 75% of the children of Avinu went off the derech. Yitzchak, 50% of the kids went off the derech. And boy, did they go off the derech. Case of a bandit. Huh? Yaakov Avinu already had, Baruch Hashem, 12 tzaddikim. I said, what do you want? This is a generational thing. It's not just for today. It's for today, it's for tomorrow, for 100 years from now. So she was stunned. I never thought of it this way. What do you mean never thought of it this way? Because for them, everything is right now. Right now. Who's to blame right now? What's happening right now? We want to have elections right now. We want to have right now. Everything right now. I want it now, right now. Yeah, okay, it's Lahavdil. Right now. Well, right now. I started reading this sefer about Ron Spector. So it's out Livrocha, a Breslover that passed away in the 70s, late 70s. He was a Goen Olam. He was Meigia. He was proofreading the galleys of the Chazon Ish. He learned together with the disciple in Novaldok, became a Breslover. And that's Yisrael. Chazon Ish was looking for Talmidei Chachamim that will learn, the galleys.
The galleys.
The way that used to print there, they would print proofs. Then you have
press.
what? Yeah,
Press.
yeah. So and then they had to go over the proofs, and and the Ksaviyad, and when they had to learn, they have to be able to understand what was written there. Because no, this is a mistake. So he needed people to be able to do that. So the Stapler recommended him to the Chazon Ish that he would. So you can imagine what level of learning and tzidkas he was. Chazon Ish sent letters to him back and forth. So I wrote there's a book that just came out of his biography, whatever it is. Very difficult to to unearth what happened to him because it was at Sanu and didn't talk about anything. He was a grandson of the Chayz of Lublin. His grandmother, who knew the Chayzer, said that he looked just like the Chayzer, in the same face. Remember when I was told that we still had the kibbutz in Yerushalayim, before Uman, before everything. So they told me that his grandmother said about him that he looks, because I went to look at him, so I went to see how the Chayzer looked like, the Chayzer of Lublin. The kids they told the story of the way Europe was, Poland was, between the First World War and the Second World War, what was going on. And you see that internally, in terms of Torah, of Tefillah, it was an unbelievable time. Unbelievable time. The Litvische Oilam was, the yeshivas were, Breslov was like wildfire in Poland. When the Second World War cut it short, but it was like, Breslov was all over Poland. The Oilam, the Gazina, many others. He said, how did he was Radzina Chilson? How did he heard about the Hashem the first time? The Rebbe of Radzin used to call him the small Gra, the small Vilna Gaon. There is a Baal Tcheles, the one who discovered the Tcheles for the tzitzis. Was a genius, Shem Kamoy. So he was one of his Hasidim, and he said that he heard him one time that he was saying to himself, because the people, when he discovered the Tcheles and he started to prepare it and he started going with it, whatever. So he had many detractors. No, it's not true. And this and that, we should do it. And we didn't see our parents do it, and so on and so on. And he answered everything. He wrote 3 Sfarim about this Indian. He answered all the questions that they asked him. But he didn't stop, and he was pretty violent, against him. So he heard him say, the phone inspector heard Zina Rebbe say, who do they think I am? You think that I'm like Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, that people, disputed him and he didn't say anything? I'm going to answer back to them. It's the first time I heard the name Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, the phone inspector. And Baruch Hashem, he was able to discover the Rabbeinu and everything else. But the point is that the reason I'm telling you this, because I took a look, it was from the inside, the Yiddishkeit was flourishing. The outside were pogroms all over.
What?
Pogroms.
Pogrom.
Pogrom, yeah. Being killed, the Plural Machshemai, and this, and that, Kishinev, whatever. It was a horrible programs on the outside, the eating from the inside. And I took a look at it, and besides the stories themselves, the thing, I got this indelible perspective. It was a life. It was a period of time. People lived. People served the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and that time is over. Right now, this is the time. Tomorrow there'll be a different time. We will not be here anymore. There'll be another world. It's not like people feel, everything is, all the world, all the generations that came before me were just a preparation for me to come on stage. It's like, yeah, it was all to bring it to me. Come on. It's just step in the way. When you make such a big deal, my rights, my this, my that. Serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Fatih. If you have to say, don't do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to do, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is right here. I'm not even talking about Oil Mabod and the punishments or whatever. I'm not talking about that. Oil Mazeh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. He's now right here. The Baba Tanya says when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you do something, when a person does an Aveira, he's like he's taking the melech by the hair of his head, and you're pulling down, and you dunking the melech's head into a pail of feces. That's what the person does with an Aveira. Only the Baal Tanya can express it like that. A powerful lotion. Boom. So we're coming into this. How do you do with the seichel? How can you call out? How can you bring people back? So here, Rabbeinu Star says, Kiyesh Shnei Hastaros. There are two kinds of concealments. Hashem is Baruch Nisa Bastara Echos, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is hidden with one Astara. Gam Ken Kosher Mod Lamatzoi. It's also very, very difficult to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know HaKadosh Baruch Hu exists. You know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. But life is so strong that it makes you forget. So even when you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is hidden from you, it's very difficult to find him. You have to work very, very hard until the curtain is lifted and you can see HaKadosh Baruch Hu with everything that's going on in your life. That, by the way, is the reason why it is very important that a person should ask for everything.
Ask?
Yeah. Daven for everything. The Zohar says about Rav Safra, I believe. No, but I think it's Rav Safra.
Why do you not daven for everything? How do you not daven for everything?
Rav Safra used to, before he ate, he had the food before him. He said to Kodesh Baruch Hu, please give me my food. And then he would eat. What do you mean? The food is right in front of you. What are you talking about? That's the way. You're making a phone call, you want to reach somebody, please help me reach that particular person. Make a call. So what are you doing with that? You're doing two things. And when this was on the Hashem will finalize. You're accomplishing two things. First, you put it into your head, like real inside your head, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. Everything's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in shul, you daven, okay, fine. And then, this is my own private time. It's a me time. It doesn't have to do with me putting my shoes on. The Rebbe of Melech was his Yotzai this Sunday. He said to his Talmud that when a person knocks a nail into the wall, he should ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the nail should go in. He didn't say that you should ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the nail should hit your thumb, which is obvious. No, that the nail shouldn't go there. The nail should go into the wall. I mean, duh. Where's the nail going to go? It's going to go dancing? Of course the nail's going to go into the wall. No. To ask for this. Ask for everything. With this, you bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu to every situation in your life. And the second thing that you're accomplishing is to eat, you're going to eat. Whether you daven, you're not going to daven. To drink, you're going to drink, whether you daven for it or you don't daven for it. Clothing you're going to have, whether you ask for it or you don't ask for it. But the difference is the animals, the behemoth also eats, it doesn't have clothes, but he eats and he drinks and everything else. Because Baruch Hu is mefarnas everybody. But when you get something that you daven for, it's not the same thing as you doing the same thing without that. They said, and this will finish, Shmuel Novi, we know Shmuel Novi, his mother with Elia Cohen, he said, give a bracha, when he saw him, give a bracha, he should have a son. He didn't have a son for many years. Without making the long story short, when she brought Shmuel Novi to stay in Mishkan, in Shiloh, to the rest of his life, there were many korbanos, Shloshim Regalim, there were many korbanos. There were not enough kohanim to shecht all the hands. So Shmuel was obviously a prodigy, He said, Shchita ksher bezar. Even somebody who's not a kohen can shecht the korbanos. And to receive the blood, you need a kohen. But for shechting, you don't need a kohen. So Eli Kohen was tzaddik hador. He said, "You're right, but you constitute a meri halacha b'nei rabbi." He was tzaddik hador, and you are paskening halacha in front of him. Anybody who does this, chayv misa b'deshamayim, should be rachem. So he told his mother, he says, "Don't worry about it. I'll give you a son who's better than him, better than Shmuel Novi." The Torah said that he was equal to Moshe and Aaron together, combined. I'll give you a better son than him. So she said, when you read the Tanakh, it says, she said to Eli Cohen, she introduced his son, Elanara Zeit Palalti. For this child, I daven for this child. So when you read the story in the Tanakh, in Sefer Shmuel, it sounds like she came and she says, "Hey, you see this kid? That's the kid I davened for. Remember you told me, you gave me a bracha, whatever it is? That's the kid. What do we need to know that?" Okay, she brought him. You have to know every single detail. It's a Tanakh. They're talking about thousands of years. Why to get into this detail? So I heard Reb Nachum Galinsky that he said, when he promised her, let Yischayev Misa with the Shamayim, let him go, and I'll give you a child better than him. So she answered him, Elanara Zeis Palalti. Maybe you can give me a better child. Like you cannot give me a child that I daven for. This you cannot give me. This child is the result of prayer. It's not a result of because you give me a bracha, you give me a better child. No, it doesn't matter how great this child is going to be. Can never match a child that I daven for.
What was the story? It was Eli and Shmuel?
Yeah.
Why was he Hayav Mita?
Because he was Moira Halacha b'fnei Rabbi.
Shmuel?
Yeah.
Halacha
b'fnei Eli. It's not Rabbi. He didn't teach him Torah up to that point, but he was good al door. When you go to a city, and Talmid Chacham comes to a city, you can't just be Moira Halacha with this Rav Muvak of can't go to Tzipora. Rabbi Yossi was there and asking Allah in front, in his town. You can't do that.
Eli said to her, "She'll give her a better child."
Yeah, he says, allow me to be makpid, and Mishamayim they'll take him because the Morelach and the Rabbi Chayiv Misa with the Shamayim. Yeah, I said, but don't worry about it. I'll give you a better child.
Who said that?
Eli told Chana, the mother of Shmuel.
Oh, is that the one that the boy was nifter? And he said, "I'll give you another." Or was that something?
He wasn't nifter.
No, what?
He wasn't nifter.
What?
He said, Elia Cohen says, I will get you a better child. Allow me to be makpid, and I will give you.
So
I will grant you a better child.
Who is this lady? Who is this?
Shmuel's mother.
Shmuel's mother.
I would say halakha in front of him.
Because he said that the shchita ksher bezar.
So why did he want?
Someone asked him a question.
They said we can't shech the karbanos because there's not enough kahanim.
And they
so Shmuel
said to Eli. People said to Eli.
No, people said to over there. There was a situation. There was a big backlog of karbanos. Karban Shalom, everybody brought korban chag, whatever it is. There weren't enough kahanim.
24/7, or is it running 24?
It wasn't running 24/7, but whatever it is, there weren't enough kahanim.
Yeah,
So Shmuel told him Allah. The halacha is shchita kshera b'zar.
and what?
You don't need a kohen to shech the behemoths, the
Oh, yeah.
korban. Even a zar can shech. To receive the blood, you have to have a kohen. It's already avoided. Shchita kshera b'zar. That's the halacha. He was more.
So what that had to do with her giving her?
So he passed in halacha, and God Ladar was there. Eli Kohen was there. So so Shmuel got himself into a status of somebody who paskins halacha in the presence, in the place of God Ladar. It's called Meir halacha b'fnei Rabbi. You can't do that. Turns out anybody who does that is chayiv misa mid'shamayim. So Eli Kohen told him, let him go. I'll be makpid and whatever it is, and mishamayim they'll take him.
Said
His mother.
You know me? But
No, to Chana.
Hannah.
So to Chana. Let him go. And I will grant you, I promise you, a better child than him. Better child than Shmuel. But imagine. She said, but I daven for this child. This you can't give me. He gave me a genius times 10, it doesn't matter. But an ukedaven to Yindel, you cannot give me a child that was davened for. It was a result of prayer. When you ask Kadosh Baruch Hu for the tea, it's a different tea. It's a getliche tea. Your parnasa becomes a divine parnasa. When you ask Kadosh Baruch Hu for everything, everything in your life becomes divine. It's not Gashmis anymore. It's a prayed for Gashmis. A prayer for Gashmis is Kul Ruchnis. Bezat Hashem, Kodesh Baruch Hu, Bezat Hashem, Bezat all of us.
So he wasn't makpid on him.
Yeah.
He said no.
He
changed his mind.
Yeah, it was Michael. Rav Shemachal Akvoida, Kvoda Machal, right? So, Bezat Hashem, we should have, but by next week that we'll learn again, it's already be Chodesh Nisan, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bezat Hashem, Shabbos Mevorchem, and Parshas Chodesh, right? What's the Parshas? No,
yeah,
Parshas Chodesh. Tremendous. Bezrat Hashem, I know you ride in the car, you told me people are very worried about what's going to be with the war, with this, with that. Bezrat Hashem, we're going to have tremendous Nisan. Chodesh Nisan. Ben Nisan, Ben Nisan, the Golo Bezrat Hashem. Ben Nisan Asidim Li Goel Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem has to see tremendous miracles. Bezrat Hashem, this Nisan, Bezrat Hashem will see tremendous things happening. And Yeshua to Klal Yisrael, and should all have good Shabbos and a good Chodesh. All two. Okay, let's stop the recording. Okay, here we go.